YouTube, what's up? James here, and it's been a while, huh? It has been a long ass time, especially on this channel, since I have put up a video or made any content, and a couple reasons for that. First and foremost, I've been busy as fuck. It's been insane between work and getting shit done at home and spending a little bit of time with Allison and my dogs and just balancing all of that sort of shit out. I haven't really had a ton of YouTube time. I did make a handful of videos on my other channel, on the Magic channel or whatever, and they did really well, and it was cool. And other than that, I haven't put anything up here for a minute. So, an update for everyone. Part of the thing that I've been busy with is our shop did a Friday the 13th tattoo special, which, if you're not in the know about, tattoo shops and tattooers are kind of divided on the subject, but many tattoo shops all over the world on Friday the 13th do a special where they do tattoos for $13, and that sort of sucks. We didn't do $13 because it's kind of absurdly ridiculous, the amount of money we spend on supplies and stuff, and then cutting in, paying the shop their portion of the money because we split commission with the shop we work at. By the time it's all said and done, we're making actual nothing, or very close to it, basically peanuts. And for somebody who works in a business that takes a lot of time and effort and struggle to learn and to do properly, I don't want to work for nothing. I try to work and make good money, and, giving away my work isn't where I want to be. We did a special. We did $31 tattoos, and up. We had a bunch of stuff starting at $31, going up from there, just depending on the size and whatever and how complicated it was. And we did really well. And even doing $31 tattoos, you don't make a ton of money, but if you plan it out appropriately and you make sure that you're able to do a lot of them, and they're not going to take you a ton of time and effort and work, you make a little bit of money, and it's fine. It is a device used to attract clientele, new customers, because people lose their shit when they see tattoos being done for cheaper than tattoos are usually done for. So, that being said, this past Friday the 13th, I did 20 tattoos, personally. Little small stuff. Here's an example of a handful of them. Just little quick jammers and stuff like that. Nothing too crazy, nothing too big, nothing too extravagant, but some cool stuff. And what we did is we spent the month to month and a half before this drawing a bunch of designs ourselves. I drew 2 entire sheets of flash that had a bunch of cool stuff that I wanted to draw up and that I would like to tattoo. Here's a quick pic of all the 2 sheets that I did, and then some other sheets that Thomas and Beth did. And the little simplest ones on here were $31. Some of the bigger, more elaborate ones were more than that. And it was a huge success. A lot of people came through, and the whole mission is to get people through the door and to maybe retain some of them as future customers who will pay regular price for tattoos. That's the goal. It doesn't always work that way. Some people just like to take advantage and like to come out and get a cheap tattoo, and then you never hear from them again, and that's fine. However, the tattoo community is super divided on this. It's around the time of these things, around Friday the 13th, you see a lot of shops, a lot of artists on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff post shit like, oh, I'll cover up your $13 tattoo once once you're done and you regret it or whatever. And they talk shit about other artists and other tattooers and stuff to try to create this illusion that they are above or better than tattooers doing it. And the truth of the matter is, yes, some of them might be. And there are some shops and some tattooers that don't really give a fuck, and it is kind of bullshit that they're tattooing for $13, not really making any money, but people take advantage of it and go get shitty tattoos places. That happens. Aside from that, a lot of tattooers work at shops where they do it as sort of a tradition and sort of a thing that they do regularly, and these guys bust their ass to make nothing. Let me close out all this bullshit Norton stuff. But yeah, they bust their ass to make nothing and do a bunch of tattoos, and with the hopes that they can have somebody come back and get a regular price tattoo. And these people aren't lesser tattooers than any of the people talking shit, and they're not bad people or bad artists or a plague upon our business or whatever, like some of these people act. They're just people that work hard, same as me and every other tattooer I know, and are trying to do a thing, and some of them are working in shops where they're required to do it, or whatever the case may be, and they're just going along with it, hoping that some of these people that are getting these $13 tattoos tip them. Which, if you are a person who goes to get a $13 tattoo or a $31 tattoo or any sort of discounted tattoo or even any tattoo at all, but specifically hyper discount special tattoos or whatever, tip your artist. I don't care if it's, you just have $13 to go get your tattoo or whatever and you take advantage of them or whatever, but like, throw them some tip money, because they're working for next to nothing, and they're working very hard. I did $31 tattoos. I had a good amount of people tip me, but a little more than half of the people I tattooed, I think, didn't tip me. I didn't do the exact math. And I wasn't that salty about it or anything, but it's one of those things, like, I'm putting my time and effort into it. I don't expect a tip. I never expect a tip. But for something like that, when I'm tattooing well under the going rate, perhaps maybe throw a tip my way. I've never expected it, and on regular price tattoos or whatever, tips are appreciated, never required, and I always say thank you and be happy about it, but I'm not usually, I don't get pissed off or upset if I don't get tipped. Either way, these tattooers talking shit about Friday the 13th, yeah, there are scummy tattooers and scummy shops out there that are doing bullshit, terrible tattoos for $13, but like, I put a lot of effort in. I sketched up these little pieces for this just one flash sheet over the span of a week or so between other tattoos when I could. I sketched up all these little pieces, and then I did line drawings of all of them, and I broke out my markers, and I colored them in, and I made sure they were cool and fun and stuff that I would like to tattoo that's sort of on theme, but then just some random silly stuff that I thought would be fun. So that was even before you came in and got your $31 tattoos. Like, I put a lot of effort into this sheet. And the other sheet I did 2 entire flash sheets. Here's the other one I did, which a few weeks before that, I, over a span of a couple weeks, put all these little drawings together, made sure they were cool and on theme and fun, and I drew them up and made sure they were fully rendered and colored and made sure I had line drawings of all of them, so when I do the tattoos for $31, I'm well prepared and don't have to draw stuff. It's already pre-drawn, but I drew these all by hand with my free time at the shop. Cool things like slices of pizza, stuff like that. Just fun little tattoos. Anyway, yeah, so those who are talking shit about Friday the 13th tattoos, like, buyer beware. Make sure you're going to an artist that you probably already trust. A lot of the people came to me for Friday the 13th. I knew them ahead of time. They were friends and previous clients and stuff. So they know that I'm not going to give them a shitty tattoo. So yeah, go to your regular artist. Go to an artist whose work you've seen a lot of. Go to an artist who you trust and feel comfortable with, and not just whoever's doing it the fucking cheapest. We were doing $31 tattoos. We had a kid come into the shop and fucking scoff when we said they were $31 and not $13. That shit's ridiculous. And for that kid, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but he can go fuck himself and go get tattooed elsewhere or go someplace else and not get tattooed, because if he doesn't have $31 to get a tattoo, chances are he's not getting tattooed anytime soon. Aside from that, now I'll put the whole Friday the 13th thing behind me. We had our shop's grand opening party the day after. So, Friday the 13th, $31 tattoos. The following day, we have a shop grand opening party where we had a lot of our customers, a lot of our friends, a lot of other people that heard about it on social media and stuff come in. We had food, drinks, door prizes. We had raffles, gift baskets, all sorts of stuff like that. And it was a blast. I actually, unfortunately, ended up tattooing for a good portion. Not really unfortunately. I enjoy tattooing, but it would have been nice to kind of cut loose and hang out and just relax for a bit, which is fine that I didn't. But either way, it was a huge success. A lot of people showed up. I'll shoot over to the shop's Instagram, which I haven't reposted yet, but some of the highlights, like, so here's some more of the Friday the 13th tattoos from the Friday, but one of our regular customers came in a fucking dinosaur, like inflatable dinosaur get up. This is a client of Tom's who got a couple little tattoos. And we had a good friend of ours and a good dude who we've been tattooing for some time now, dude named Calvin, DJ it. He actually did a killer job. Had a lot of fun, had a lot of good music happening, and you know, it was a good time. It was really good to see the shop that I'm working for now and the people that I work with and care about doing well and doing things like this. Because the shop I came from, we didn't do shit like this. We didn't have a gathering and a party and a time where we could show our customers some appreciation and invite people in and give something back a little bit. Not to seem like we're saints or we're very charitable people, but we raffled off a $500 tattoo. We also raffled off these gift baskets that included gift cards and shirts and stuff like that, stickers and whatnot. And just as a little like, hey, we're here, this is our grand opening. We've been open for about 12 weeks now, or 13 weeks, something like that, and wanted to have an event like to just put ourselves out there and invite people in, and maybe some people got a little something for free or whatever out of it, and at the very least had a good time, and we could introduce ourselves to some future clientele and some people that we're going to be tattooing for a long time to come. So that was sweet. Additionally, we have a guest artist in for the weekend. Billy Vegas, those who have seen the show Ink Master, he was on the very first season long ago, but hell of a tattooer and hell of a dude. I never met him before this. Tom was a good friend with him. But he's a cool guy, and I wasn't sure that me and him would get along or whatever, although I get along with literal everybody. Like, I don't know, I've seen some ego out of tattooers that have a bigger name or that have been on Ink Master or on TV or whatever, and tattooers are generally pretty chill people, but it goes without saying that when you work in a very cool profession or a perceived cool profession like tattooing, it can create some shitty egos, and Billy Vegas is not one of those dudes. He's a good dude. He did his dope-ass Elvis portrait on Friday. While I was busting my ass doing $31 little jammers, Billy was doing a dope-ass portrait of Elvis, which I can't do dope-ass portraits of Elvis, so good on him. It was cool to see. And then over on his page, he did this gangster-ass, like, clown girl sort of portrait thing that he spent a good amount of time on Saturday. And, you know, dude's really good at what he does, and it was cool to have him around. And I hope he comes back and hangs out soon. He's a funny fucking guy. Cool dude to hang out with. So, that's that. Aside from that, things have been going well. The shop's been real busy. I've been really fucking working hard. It's been really cool to be in the middle of October and doing a ton of tattoos. And, like, regardless of doing cheap tattoos for one day out of this year or whatever, like, I've been doing regular priced, you know, normal tattoos and have been real busy, really swamped. That's why I've been off of the YouTube and really tired. I have a big piece coming up tomorrow, which is cool because this kid came in, left deposit for a tattoo, a cover-up, I drew it up or whatever, and then I get a message from him like, oh, I'm not going to do it, I'm going someplace else, out of nowhere, which is whatever. But it blows when I was like, sweet, I have this big-ass appointment, and I'm going to do this cool tattoo, and then something happens, and you're depending on that to set up your week or to make money for that day, so you have a guaranteed, known source of income for the week, and then they cancel on you for whatever reason. This kid kind of did it shittily, like he was not, like I understand if you have an appointment and some life shit comes up, like I booked an appointment with another dude right before, like the week or two before we had the hurricane come through, Hurricane Irma, and after the hurricane he was out of work for like 2 or 3 weeks, and he's like, hey man, I'm sorry, but I can't get the tattoo right now, but once things settle down, I'll let you know and we'll schedule it. That shit I understand. No harm, no foul. I get it. Like, get your shit together, handle your life. I understand. This kid that canceled on me for tomorrow, though, was kind of a dickhead. Not to put any hate out there in the world or whatever. I'm not trying to, like, spawn negativity, but this kid came in. I had a consultation with him. We had an understanding of what he wanted. He had a reference. I drew it up so it will fit the tattoo because it is a cover-up, or it was supposed to be a cover-up. So I drew it specifically to fit the old tattoo to cover it up so we can fully get rid of it and completely, like, I put a lot of work and effort into a full day of drawing this thing and sketching it and revising it and cleaning it up and sharpening the parts that needed to be and making the adjustments for the cover-up and all that stuff. And I get a text on our shop phone. I say, hey man, I have a family friend who wants to do the tattoo for me. I'm not coming to get the tattoo. Can I get my deposit back? First and foremost, no, you can't have your deposit back. Deposits are non-refundable. You filled out a form that says that before we even took the deposit from you. And, yeah, you can't get your deposit back. And this is something that people ask from time to time, and here is why you can't get your deposit back. Because when you leave me a $50 deposit to go towards your tattoo, I spend a good fucking amount of time drawing your tattoo. I take time out of my day when I could be drawing for other people who have paid, or doing tattoos for other people who have paid money, or doing anything else, being lazy, doing recreational shit. I could be sitting and playing video games during the time that I am drawing the tattoo that you left your deposit for. I don't charge extra money when I draw a tattoo for somebody. They leave the deposit, and then the deposit goes toward paying for the tattoo. So it's not an extra fee, it is just a security fee. Just like when you rent a house, when you pay your first month, your last month, and a security deposit, that security deposit is so if you leave the house that you are renting and you destroy the fucking place, it's so the person who rented you the house has that money to fall back on to pay for some other repair and stuff. Instead of paying for repair in this sort of instance, you're paying a little bit to secure my time to draw it up with the understanding that you're committing to getting the tattoo. So that kid had to walk away from $50, which he didn't seem to have a problem with doing after I was like, no, your deposit's not fucking refundable. But it's shitty that, like, he said a friend of the family, so I'm making an assumption, and I don't know if it's presumptuous of me, but that kid's going to a fucking scratcher. Some asshole in his garage is going to tattoo that kid, and it's going to look like fucking shit, and then eventually he's going to make his way either back to me at my shop or to some other tattooer that knows what the fuck they're doing, and somebody's going to have to fix garbage on top of the garbage that he already fucking had. And fingers crossed, I hope he doesn't watch this YouTube video, because I hope he stumbles back into my shop and I can be like, oh, that didn't work out for you. And then I'm not going to be rude to him directly, but I'll have a little chuckle to myself and it'll help my soul feel better. Regardless, so I have this drawing, and it's a cool drawing. Here, it's right here. It's a skull with an anchor and tentacles. It was going to be badass and fun and cool and whatever. And this fucking kid bailed on it. So when that happens, if I have a cool drawing, I take it, I put it up on the internet, and I'm like, hey, who wants this? I'll do it for a flat rate, less money than it's worth, just to do the piece because I think it's cool and I think it'll be fun. Well, I had a lot of interest, and somebody else wanted to get it done. They messaged me on Instagram. They're coming in tomorrow in the same appointment slot that this fucking kid had, and they're getting the tattoo. And I'm doing it cheaper than I would have done it on that kid because I want to do the tattoo, and it's my way of giving this person that's stepping in and getting it a deal for being cool and getting a cool tattoo, and stepping in to fill a spot left open by somebody who didn't value my time. So that's awesome. He's going to get this tattoo for $400, where it's probably going to take me about 6 hours. I charge $100 an hour, which is low by national average, but he's going to get it for a couple $100 less than it would have been otherwise. 50 of which was paid for by this jackass who skipped out on or who canceled on me, and who is going to get a bad tattoo by a scratcher. So, thank you to the gentleman who booked this appointment. I will see you tomorrow. It's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait to do the tattoo. It's going to be super sweet. So that's super cool. And I'm glad that sometimes it works itself out. And I would rather tattoo a dude that's willing to be like, that's awesome, I really like your art, I'm going to come get it from you. I'd rather give that guy a break than tattoo some wishy-washy fucker who A, didn't value my time, and B, tried to, like, not only renege on his appointment, but try to take a deposit back. Money he paid for me to work hard, which I did. So, that is that. Beyond that, shop's been great. Everybody's been super cool. My co-workers and friends and family and whatnot at the shop have all been great. Thomas and Allison, the owners, I can't speak highly enough for, or highly enough about, or whatever. They've been super cool and super fun to work with. I've worked with Tom for like nearly a decade now. Allison was kind of the unknown quantity because she's his fiance, and she's also sort of the one who handles the management end of things, and she does a kick-ass job and makes sure we all have what we need and allows us to just have a good time working together and making art and drawing tattoos and doing tattoos and putting our best selves forward and keeping a reputation as the shop that people really like and really enjoy getting tattooed in and come back to and tell their friends about. And we're building a reputation that we couldn't build where we were because it was just us alone with our tattoos, which oftentimes speak for themselves, but you gotta have more. You have to have more from the owner of a tattoo shop, from the boss, from the management, from the people that run the show. They actually have to try to run the show and care. And the people that pay the bills and run the show and also collect money off of your work should put something back. And nothing was getting put back, but now all of the effort's getting put back, and that's why we get to do cool stuff. That's why I'll fucking take a hit and do $31 tattoos because it was asked of me and because I care about the people I work for. So, that being said, that's why I've been away from YouTube. This isn't a Let's Rant podcast or whatever, a late, tired, sleep-deprived podcast. It's just hey, this is where I've been, and this is what I've been doing, and that is how it goes. Another thing that kept me real busy and kept me away from YouTube is I've been watching a ton of baseball. Those who don't know, the Cleveland Indians were in the playoffs, and they're not now, and that's all I'll fucking say about that, and it's fucking heartbreaking and sucky, but yeah, I'm pissed off at baseball right now. I'm done with it for the foreseeable future. So, that took up a lot of time. It turned out to be time wasted. But, that's me being salty about baseball. It doesn't matter. Either way, thank you guys. I appreciate anybody who watched this. And, look forward to doing this again sometime.